Can you start making money online with zero prior experience or training? Absolutely you can. If you watch my short form content, I post every day on ways you can get into digital dropshipping, selling digital products, all the sales side of things like remote closing and appointment setting. Absolutely you can. Like I said, I post just about every day a way that you can get started for nothing. But why would I prefer, or why would I go and get some form of training before I get started? If you look at it this way, right, if you want to get like a carpentry job, right, and you rock up to a building site and you talk to the manager or the boss and you say, look man, I'm looking for a job, have you got any job openings? And he's like, yeah, sure bro, have you done your apprenticeship, have you got your trade certificate? And you say, oh, nah, I haven't done anything, I've got no experience, haven't done any training, no TAFE, nothing like that. He's going to say, well, sorry bro, you're not certified to be a carpenter, even though that's what you want to do. So if you look at it like that, when it comes to going out and getting an appointment setting role or a closing role, there are plenty of people that have gone out and gotten a role with no prior experience or training. However, if you put yourself in the shoes of the business that is selling a high ticket product, if they've got 20 people applying for the role and most people have got some sort of training, certification, or they've had prior experience, they're going to get handed the role way before you are if you've got no training, no prior experience whatsoever. And not only that, I mean, for myself, before I got started in the online space, I looked at it this way. So I was willing to make sacrifices and not do things I would normally do in order to get me to the position I wanted to be. And I was willing to sacrifice a couple of months. However, if I tried to go about things on my own, while watching YouTube videos, and don't get me wrong, there's plenty of free value out there that can allow you to land these roles. However, I didn't want to wait around for 10, 12 months or even longer, busting my ass to try and get a role because I hadn't gone out and gotten any training. I wanted to get to the position that I wanted to get to as quick as possible. And the way that I figured was going to be the best way to do that was by, investing in myself and getting some form of training, which means it's paid dividends for me. But it just makes sense, like why would you want to fuck around for a whole year, have to make all these sacrifices, probably have to make more sacrifices because you've got to learn the ins and outs on your own with no one actually guiding you in the right direction? Or would you rather invest in yourself, put money towards getting some training and, fast track your progress? You could have a setting or a closing role within a month or two from starting. It just made a lot more sense for me to, just swallow the ego and say, look, I need help, and go out and get some training. And it's the same thing if you rock up to a mine site and you want to be a digger operator, and you go to the boss and say, look, have you got any digger jobs going? And they'll say, yeah, we've got a couple openings. Yeah, show us your tickets, show us any prior experience, give me your resume. And you say, oh no, I've never operated a digger in my life. They're not going to give you the role, are they? And I mean, when it comes to these businesses that have a high ticket offer, like a lot of these high ticket offers range from 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, all the way up to $100,000 per deal. So who do you think they're going to want to leave the hands of their income in? Someone that is trained and actually knows what they're doing, or someone that is just willing to give it a crack? When you're talking tens of thousands of dollars for this business, they're going to want their clients in the hands of the best person possible, and someone that is trained and actually knows what they're doing. Because like clearly, if you land a role and you haven't got any training, you're only going off your own back, what you've tried to learn yourself, and then you kind of just playing it by ear. You're trying to figure it out as you go. Whereas if you've been trained, you know exactly what you're doing straight off the bat. Obviously you haven't had the experience, but yeah, you've actually got some knowledge in the job that you're going into. So yeah, that's my take on it. So yeah, just for a recap, if I was to have my time over again, I would do nothing differently to what I've done. I went out and invested in a mentor that taught me the skills within 1 or 2 months, which I figured was the better option, rather than, you know, going about things on my own and, you know, spending a year, if not longer, trying to learn these skills just from watching, you know, YouTube videos. It is doable, don't get me wrong, it is doable, but it's going to make it a lot harder, and it's going to take you a lot longer to, you know, work out the things and understand the things that you could literally pay someone to give you that information within a couple days. So yeah, I mean, if you are looking at getting into the space, that's my take. Just go out, cut the bullshit, pay someone that knows what they're doing to teach you what they know, and then you can, you know, be on a remote role sooner rather than later, and just quit the fucking around. And the sooner you get cranking and have a role, the sooner it is you're gonna have the freedom and, you know, not have to make all those sacrifices that you've been making to get to that point. You won't have to make them for as long. So that's my take on it, guys. If you got any more questions, hit me up on Instagram. I've also got a couple of free guides on YouTube on, you know, how you can get into setting, how you can get into closing, and how you can start selling digital products if you want to go down the content route. Yeah, however, what we've just gone over, I think it's the best idea to, you know, go out and get yourself a mentor, invest in yourself, and yeah, other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.